All right, this is going to be our third video in the series, and we're going to be deploying our second domain controller. The last video, I deployed the main domain controller, which is the one you're seeing on the screen right now. Thank you so much for your love and support. I really appreciate that. And with that being said, let's get started. So I'm going to power up the previous domain controller, and I'm going to navigate to New, then create a new virtual machine. I will name that DC02. Already have a place to start. If you do want to start this in a different location, you can actually check this and specify the location path. In my case, I don't want to do that. So I click on Next. I love to use Generation 2. I've been able to speak to someone that actually chose Generation 1 and they're having some issue. I think this is just going to be depends on the kind of resources that you have or that you are using for this practice. But if you do go into any issues actually deploying this, please do let me know, then I will go ahead and assist you. So I'll click on Next, like always, 2048, and make sure that I use dynamic memory. Next, then I select my internet switch. Next, now as usual, 80. Next. So right here, I'm going to select my operating system. For this lab, I'm going to be using the latest version of Windows Server, which is the Windows 2022. Next. Right now, I just have to connect. And do the regular thing. If you have been following this video tutorial, you will start getting familiar with the way we deploy machine in Hyper-V. So you choose your language, then you click on Install. In this series, I'm going to do something right here. Well, I don't have the key, but most of the time-consuming part, I will try to fast forward that for you so that you don't have to wait if you're actually watching this just for your own education. But if you are practicing along, you'll be able to see that you have to wait for the process to be completed. So I always have like data center and desktop experience. And, yeah, okay, you have to accept the terms and condition. Next. All right, choose advanced and next. All right, here you can go grab some coffee, which I'm going to do right now, and then I'll be right back once this is finished. All right, I'm back from my coffee place, and it looks like it's not done yet. Okay, 81%, that's good. All right, we just need to wait a little bit. Let me zip my coffee. All right, so it's installing the update. So what's going to happen right now is the virtual machine is going to restart. So it doesn't take that long, like maybe 3-4 minutes or 5 minutes, I guess. All right, so you can click on restart now. Anyway, it's going to restart. So all right, let's wait for the machine to come back, and after that we'll be able to continue. All right, the machine is back right now. It actually takes like maybe 1 minute for that process to be completed. So we're going to punch in our password here. And click on Finished. All right, it's looking good right here. So let's sign in. And while this machine is actually preparing itself, I wanted to mention that the domain controller 2, we're going to do something. Number one, we're going to rename it, just like we did when we're configuring the DC1. And also, we're going to set a static IP address for the domain controller. Like I mentioned earlier, the domain controller, we don't want the IP address to be dynamic, so we have to have it static. So we're going to set that to up right now. First, I'm going to do the networking one. Then after that, I'm going to rename it, then restart it. After that, I have to join that to DC1, and then before we are able to have this as an additional domain controller. So let's go get ready. We have to open this, and then we go to Network and Sharing Center. We go to the Ethernet Properties Protocol, and here I already know the IP address that I'm going to give this machine, so it's cool by me. And what's going on? Okay, 192.168.0.101. Oh no, it's going to be 102. Okay, then 192.168.0.1. So the DNS server, it's going to be the DNS server of DC1. So take a look at what is going to happen right now. 192.168.0.101. So we click OK. Now it might lose the internet a little bit here in the network. Okay, can you see that? So it's going to come back again. Nice. Take like maybe 1 or 2 seconds. So we're getting ready right here. So we close this out, and we go over here. Now we rename the DC to DC02. Apply. Okay. Oh, apologize. That is in the computer description. So Peter, pay attention. All right. Now this is the computer name. I will have done 2 things at the same time. You can actually join it also to domain at the same time, but hey, let's see if I can still do it. No, it's grayed out now. All right, let's go ahead and restart this virtual machine. So after that, we'll be able to join it to domain. So let's wait for the machine to come back. Looks like it's going to be ready. Yes, it's ready. All right, let's do our thing. Like I mentioned earlier, the virtual machine is going to operate based on the resources you allocate for it. So do not show this message anymore. It's annoying. So let's go ahead and join this computer to domain. And anyone remember? Yes, devlab.local. Oh, what? Already exist? I don't get it. Oh, let's see again. The following error call attempting to join the domain devlab.local. The specified account already exists. What does that mean? Let's give it a try again, and I'm going to use an admin account. Alright, so maybe let's go get it. So sometimes you might run into this kind of issue. I think this is happening because yes, I got you. I think this is happening because before this tutorial I already created DC2. So because I didn't have a voiceover, so I have to delete it. So I think what is happening is that it's recognizing the computer accounts with the same name because I'm using practically the same name. So let's give it a go. Let's go see. So we're gonna go to tools, but in your case it should allow you. So my bad for this one. I take full responsibility on it. So let's see what happened. Let's see how to fix it. My bad. I take full responsibility on this one. All right, Peter, what's going on now? All right, so if we go to our local domain and we go to computer, we find out that, oh, there's nothing there. All right. Oh, yeah. This is what is causing the issue. So what I'm going to do right here is to delete this guy. Yes, I want to delete it. Yes, I want to delete that. Yes. All right. So now let's pick up the second DC. So I don't want to confuse you guys here. So this is the first one right here. And this is the second one on the top. So now watch what happened. And I'm going to change it. And I'm going to go to members of domain and I'm going to say devlab.local. Oh no, I made a mistake. Okay, there we go. Let's try again. Yeah, welcome to the devlab domain. All right, this is looking good right now. Look like we fixed that issue. Go, close, and restart. Everything is looking good right now. Please forgive me for that. My bad. I was just doing some testing, you know. Like I mentioned in my previous video, the only way to learn about this is to test, delete, redo it again, and that's how we know what's going on. So that's what I was been doing, and that's what happened. So now, looks like this guy is supposed to appear here. Let's see. Let's give it a refresh. Let's do the refresh. Okay. See, it's not a domain controller. It's not appearing yet. Now it's a computer. So the moment we promote that computer to a domain controller, it's going to move into a domain controller unit right here. See, right now it's still a computer. So let's do this. So now everything looking good. I have the domain name, I have the computer name, I have the domain, journey to domain, I already have the static IP address. Okay, let's go to roles and next. Yes. Then we're going to choose Active Directory. Domain services. Next. If you want, you can actually click on this one. Doesn't matter, and click on install. So while that one is going on, I'm going to show you something on the DC one. If you notice, I have Peter, which is a new admin on DC one. So the moment we have a second domain controller to replicate to each other, if we do create any user right here, it's going to replicate on the second domain controller. So and I'm going to be showing you how that works. So I normally advise most of our folks, like, you know, try to get your hand on something, you know, try to research, read more about Windows Server. It's not that hard. And while we are waiting for this to finish, you can, you know, you can ping some stuff, like you can go and then you can type Windows Server 2022 and then just scroll down a little bit, just look for, well, this is from Microsoft. You got Evaluation Center right here if you're trying to download it. So most of the time I click on this one and it's going to take me to a page where you're going to get a lot of information about Windows Server 2022, how to start, Windows Server on Azure. How if you wanted to get more documentation on it, yes, there you go. You can play around with it. All right, it's finished. So we're going to promote this server to a all right, and automatically it fill in the domain for us, and it's going to, if this doesn't come up, we're going to choose add a domain controller to an existing one. So the existing one is this one. Now this is the second one. If this doesn't pop up, you can just click on select and it's going to show you the domain in the environment or the forest. So now I'm going to change this to my username here. I can use the admin also, both administrator. So I click on next. And I'm going to push in the password right here. Please do not forget the password you put here. Now, I have the opportunity to make these read-only domain controller, but I don't want to do that right now. Maybe in the next video, I'm going to deploy a read-only domain controller. But for now, I'm going to leave it like this. Click on next. So I'm telling this to replicate from any of the domain controller, which is okay. If you wanted to try it, why not? You can do the try and you can test it out. So next, pretty much, I kind of understand most of the information that is. If you see this, if you want to take a look and read, it's okay. But in my case, I've done it in the past. But most of the time, you're going to be getting this kind of exclamation mark, and if you want to take a look and read, it's okay. But the most important is to show the green check. So, and let's wait for the server to complete the process. All right, we'll be back once the installation is completed. It shouldn't take much time though. I'll be back. Something interesting here while I'm back. You see this place? You can actually see the progress of what the domain controller is doing, like what it's doing for you. Now everything is successful, and the domain controller is going to restart. So simply I can just click on close, but I can guarantee you that this thing is going to shut down itself. Oh, look at that. It's doing its thing. Look at that. All right, let's wait for the server to come back. I'm going to pause right now, and I'm going to resume this video when the server is back. All right, our server is back, so let's go ahead and log in. Okay, let's see. Beautiful, beautiful. So while that is getting prepared, I'm going to show you something. Let's go to CMD right here. And I wanted to show you that we have a static IP address, and also we're able to ping. I'm going to do IP config. Peter, come on, wake up. So we have 101 IP address right here. And if we go here, we should have 102 as we specify. All right, you see that. So if I go ahead and say, okay, ping 192, oh, come on, ping 192. 168, so 0.1.101. See, they can talk to each other, and I say ping 192.168.0.102. So that means both of the servers can actually talk to each other. You know, this is a brand new server, and we haven't done anything on it. So let me show you something. That whatever we do in the first server, we actually replicate today. So we're going to go to Active Directory users and computers. And let's see the magic, the user. And there you go, Peter. All right, let's give it a test. Let's create a new user. Just a regular user. What can I do? Oh, I have a friend of mine in Canada. His name is Devas. I haven't talked to him in a long time. So I'm going to create an account for him. So I'm going to say, all right, I'll put a password. So I'm going to check on the user must change the password. No, I don't want him to change the password. This is a testing environment, so device is actually created here. And let's see, I might take it. Oh, look at that. Device is here. We're doing a great job. Nice. So that completes the tutorial for the second domain controller on an Azure nested virtualization server. Thank you for your time here, and if you're following along, I hope you get the same result that I do. Our next tutorial, it's going to be maybe to deploy the read-only domain controller for you guys to see, and I'm also going to be deploying one of our client PC that we're going to use for our autopilot and testing. With that being said, thank you so much for your time. I'm going to show you, I think the next video is going to be how to create a Microsoft account that we're going to use to create our Office 365 tenant, and also to sign up for a free trial so that we can get to the cloud as quickly as we can. Thank you so much for your time. Love you, and see you in my next video. Bye bye for now.